On October the 28th, Winnipeg will become the hub for all things cello. The Agassiz Festival will be presenting the International Cello Festival of Canada. Running from October the 28th to November 1st, the festival will offer Winnipeggers the opportunity to see some of the finest cellists around perform in numerous concerts throughout the city. On October the 28th at 1:30 at the Desautels Concert Hall, cellist David Liam-Roberts will be performing in the finals of the Zara Nelsova National Cello Competition. Then on October 30th, he will be performing a concert at the St. Norbert Arts Centre called A Metis Celebration. This concert celebrates Liam-Roberts' Métis heritage. In fact, both concerts will be a kind of homecoming for Liam-Roberts, as he is originally from Winnipeg but is now studying in Sweden at the Basel Academy of Music. And joining me here over Zoom to talk about his two performances here in Winnipeg, I am joined by David Liam-Roberts. Hi, David. Great to see you again.
Hello. Nice to see you,
Mm,
Chris.
mm. So, firstly, before we get to the performances here in Winnipeg, you graduated from the Glenn Gould School in Toronto with a bachelor and artist diploma. How long have you been in Switzerland, and what has it been like studying there? And can you tell us about your teacher?
Sure. Yeah. I moved to Basel last year with my wife, and it's been just a great experience being here in Europe. Basel is super historical, and you just get the sense of the long history of this of the culture here just by looking at the street signs sometimes. So very near to where I used to live, at the end of the block, there was a street sign that said, you know, this street is named Leonardsstrasse because the Leonards Church was here, and it said it was there from the 11th century until 1530 or something. And I just thought it took me a second to realize I don't know any building in Canada that was built in 1530, but this one was torn down in 1530. So, yeah, that just gives you kind of a perspective of the history. But yeah, I find the heritage of classical music here in Basel very inspiring, and there's just so much going on. There's always a concert, and I've been fortunate enough to play with the Basel Symphony Orchestra for many concerts this season as an intern. So yeah, it's just been fantastic, and yeah, of course, my teacher D'Angelo Ishizaka is yeah, just a wonderful teacher. I couldn't ask for a better school and teacher to be studying with.
Mm. On the 28th, you're one of three finalists who are going to be performing in the Zara Nelsova National Cello Competition. How did you hear about the competition? And I had to look her up. Apparently, she's from Winnipeg, was like praised by Rostropovich. Did you
Mhm.
know about her before the competition?
Yes, actually. Yeah, well, of course, I knew about the competition that has been named after her, I think, since the first cello festival, maybe the second one. But I kept hearing about Zara Nelsova. We had a recording of hers that we listened to a lot at home. Um, and actually, my previous teacher met her and knew her quite well. And he told the story about how uh, she told him that her name wasn't actually Zara Nelsova, but it was Sarah Katz Nelson, and
Ah,
she changed her name to Zara Nelsova. Apparently, she said because she thought it would be a more marketable Russian-sounding name. Um, and yeah, she has been her recordings have been really inspiring to me. So actually, one of the pieces I'm playing in the finals was commissioned by her. She asked composer Ernest Bloch, who's actually a Swiss composer, to write some solo cello suites. And initially, he declined. He said he couldn't do it. He had actually stopped composing basically completely at this point for the past 10 years. And so um, he just wasn't up to it. And then finally, 1 or 2 years before he died, he wrote three amazing suites for solo cello. And so I'm going to be playing the first one and it was dedicated to Zara Nelsova.
Mm. As part of the finals, you've got to play, yeah, play 30 minutes worth of music. So you've got the block. What else are you going to be playing on that concert?
I'm also playing the last sonata by Beethoven,
Mm.
last sonata for cello and piano, and yeah, it's just a incredible work.
Hmm. Can you talk us through the selection process? My understanding is it's at first recorded, right? And then they whittle it down to the final three, of which you were one. Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, they had a. I actually didn't know this competition was happening until yeah, a few months ago. But yeah, you just have to you had to submit some recordings, and then I guess yeah, three finalists were selected, and so I'm very honored to be in this competition. Yeah, especially named after someone who's inspired me so much, Zara Nelsova.
Hmm. You play a lot, or you have played with Paul Williamson as part of the Zyra Piano Trio. Is
Yes.
he going to be your accompanist for the Beethoven?
I think so. I haven't heard a confirmation, but I think it might be, which would be awesome. He's yeah, a dear collaborator.
Hmm. And then, yeah, on the 30th at 1 p.m. at the St. Norbert Arts Centre, you're putting on a concert called A Metis Celebration. Here you are for sure going to be joined by Paul Williamson at
Yes.
the piano, fiddler Jane Corey, and elder Norman Mead, who's going to be the narrator. Narrator suggests a theme or a story. What is this concert about? Can you talk about that?
Mm. Yeah. So uh, Paul Marlane, the director of this festival, of course, asked me to curate a concert program, and I thought that celebrating Métis, Red River Métis culture and that heritage was something really meaningful to me and personal to me because I'm a citizen of the Red River, the Manitoba Métis Federation. And yeah, so I wanted to make this program that, yeah, that tells that celebrates Métis culture and in a classical cello environment. And so, yeah, this program has three pieces by Métis composers. Karen Sanabaka being one, who's also a cellist, Ian Cusson, and Patrick Carabray. Yeah, three, I think, very convincing works. Um, and then I'm also playing some Métis fiddle tunes by Andy Desjarlis or Desjarlais
Mhm.
with Jane Corey, acclaimed fiddler. And this is a special part of the program for me because um, I started playing fiddle tunes by Andy Desjarlis when I was about 5 years old.
Yeah.
I started busking with my siblings at farmers markets and at the Forks. Um, and so I always played the bass line, but now I've always wanted to play the actual melody, the fiddle tunes on the cello. And so I'm finally making this dream come true. And yeah, it's gonna be a great pleasure to play it with such a great fiddler in Jane Corey.
And so, yeah, one of the things about the concert is you've got this narrator, Norman Mead. How does he play into the role of this concert that celebrates the Métis people?
Yeah, I'm thrilled that Métis Elder Norman Mead has agreed to be a part of this concert and to speak. And yeah, basically his role in this concert is sharing stories about the history of the Métis people and the rich culture and heritage that we have here in the Red River Valley. And so I'm very pleased to be uh, playing this concert on the homeland of the Métis Nation. And um, yeah,
Can you talk about the Pat Carabray and Karen Sunabaka pieces? What are they like? Can you talk about them a little bit?
yeah. So a piece by Karen Sonabaka is called A Mother's Prayer. And yeah, it's a beautiful short piece for solo cello that I think, yeah, speaks to themes of ancestry and yeah, just knowing your heritage, your ancestors. Um, yeah, I think she was inspired by a prayer that her mother used to uh, s- uh, pray for her when she was growing up. And then the piece by Patrick Carbre is called Ancestral Drones, and it's for cello and a recorded track,
Mm.
and also my voice. And
Oh, wow.
so I think it's a really powerful piece as well. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a great concert. David, it all sounds just fantastic. I'll ask you the question, what are you looking forward to about coming back to Winnipeg and participating in the International Cello Festival of Canada?
Yeah, it's I mean, I always love coming back and performing in Winnipeg. But yeah, it's particularly special to be a part of this festival because going to the two previous international cello festivals were some of the most important formative experiences of my young cello life. And I remember performances of Matt Heimovitz playing the Schumann Cello Concerto with I think with the Manitoba Chamber Orchestra. Um, I remember Colin Carr playing the Sixth Suite by Bach. I remember Jean Wang playing in the very first one in 2011. So for me to come back and be a part of this year's festival is, um, yeah, just such an honor.
Fantastic. David, as always, this has been a real delight to talk to you today. Good luck at the Zara Nelsova National Cello Competition on the 28th at 1:30 at the Desautels Concert Hall, and all
Thank
the
you.
best at your concert called A Metis Celebration at the St. Norbert Arts Centre on October 30th at 1 p.m. And just thanks so much for making the time to sit down and chat with me today.
Thank you.